Okay, so you know it's serious when I come on here with no makeup and obviously no hair on my head. But I figured this is the perfect time to talk about this situation. I do have a video planned for Black Lives Matter that's more serious and more about my personal experience and everything as a Black woman in America. But I wanted to talk about this because this is something that's very important to address, I think, and it's something that needs to be talked about. So I've seen a lot of K-pop stars come out in support of Black Lives Matter, and they've donated, they've, made public statements that they're here for, for the Black community. They've changed their profile picture to, a blacked out profile picture for Blackout Tuesday, or they posted the square, but they didn't hashtag it Black Lives Matter. So, and I think that's great. I think it's awesome. I think it's really wonderful that so many people from all over the world are speaking out, against the hatred and the horrible things that happen over here in the United States to people like me and people in my family. However, I've been seeing a lot of fans who, realize that their favorite group hasn't, or their favorite artist hasn't spoken out or said anything, that have been like, well, what do I do? Do I unstand them because they haven't said anything? Should I stop listening to them? Should I like get rid of their stuff? Should I like unfollow them? Like, what? They haven't spoken out. So I wanted to address that. As a Black woman living in the United States, experiencing a lot of this stuff firsthand and watching a lot of this stuff go on, I'm going to say absolutely not. I don't think that you should unstand anybody, and this isn't just K-pop fans. This is also, American artists, British artists, whatever artists. I don't think you should unstand anybody because they don't immediately speak out against the hatred or make it public that they're against it. And these are the reasons why I feel this way. So for the first reason that I feel this way is that it's really great that there's a lot of support. It's really great that there's a lot of, businesses supporting. There's a lot of artists supporting. My school posted something. I know my friend's job that she works at, they were like, you can't sit idly by, you gotta donate, whatever, sign petitions, get out there, make your voice heard. And I think it's great that there's a lot of people that are doing that. I think it's great that there's a lot of artists that are doing that, and a lot of artists that are spreading the words, a lot of artists and actors that are going out there and being on the front lines and protesting themselves. I think all of that is wonderful, amazing, and great. But I would never force somebody to disclose their beliefs, because then it's not genuine. The reason why I say that is a lot of the times people only disclose, for me as a Black woman, I start to get suspicious when there's a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon in support of Black people, because I start to wonder how much of it is genuinely they believe in this cause and they respect Black people and they do not want to see harm befall us, and how much of it is they're either afraid to be canceled by Twitter stans who are freaking psychotic nowadays because all they care about is, everybody being the exact vision of what they want them to be, or B, they're just after the clout. They're just after the social brownie points. I don't believe you have to show anything that you do. I did a lot very silently for all the years that Black Lives Matter has existed since 2013. I had done a lot silently. I signed petitions. I donated money when I had the time to help with the cause. I got my voice out there. I didn't go out there and protest. I also didn't blow it up on my social media. The reason why is because I had people that I knew didn't agree with the cause on my social media. I had people that I worked with that didn't agree with the cause. I did not want to disrupt my place of business by showing off. And I know some of you might be like, oh, that's such a stupid reason. That's so dumb. Why would you just stand up for what you believe in? But it's not that simple. It's not that simple when your livelihood is on the line. It's not that simple. It's not that simple to stand up and scream when everything you work for is on the line. And it is brave and it is admirable that there are K-pop stars that are willing to put their careers on the line by speaking out and saying what they say. You cannot bully other K-pop stars or any stars into saying that they support Black Lives Matter. You cannot bully them into publicly saying it so that you have peace of mind. You don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. You don't know if they've donated. You don't know if they've shown support. You don't know if they've had conversations with people that they may be friends with that are Black. because a lot of them do have black friends. You don't know. You don't know if they've educated people around them or if they've tried to educate people around them. It's different with like stars like, like Jay Park and Eric Nam, who were born in the United States, who have a little bit more freedom to say what they want to say. And it's great that they do. It's awesome. I'm not undermining that at all. But I also feel like you can't expect every single person to behave the exact same way. The other reason why I say you shouldn't unstand them is because no entertainer owes you anything more than the entertainment that they provide. It is great that there are so many activists out there, so many entertainers that care about politics, so many entertainers that care about human rights, so many entertainers that are willing to don a gay flag and, say that they love, the LGBT community, so many entertainers that are willing to stand up for what they believe in. That's amazing. But they don't owe us that. That's the thing that we tend to forget, is they do not owe us access to their personal beliefs. That is still their personal beliefs. Yes, they are more than welcome to share them with us, but they don't owe us that. And no artist that you listen to, K-pop or not, owes you access to their personal beliefs. They don't owe you access to whether or not they are upstanding in your mind. If you really in your heart of hearts feel bothered by the fact that your fave did not come out and say I donated this much money, or your fave did not come out and say that I Black Lives Matter, I'm against the hate, if you're really that bothered, you need to evaluate yourself and think about what you expect from your entertainment. Because when I sit down and I listen to one of my favorite groups, I'm not listening to it because I want a political statement. I'm listening to it because I want to escape the crap that's going on in the world. I'm listening to it because I want to have fun. And yes, I understand you don't want to stand somebody that you find out is like absolute garbage and thinks that you don't deserve to exist. Trust me, there have been it hasn't really been any K-pop artists, but there have been like actors and stuff that I like that were suddenly Trump supporters, and it's devastating to find that stuff out. I mean, like a good example for that was PewDiePie for me. PewDiePie was one of my favorite YouTubers for years. He was one of the first YouTubers I ever got obsessed with, first people I ever watched. And when he went off and started saying racist stuff, and like really racist stuff, not like in the beginning where he was saying stuff that people always said in gaming environments, but when he really went overboard, I had to walk away. And I know people are like, oh, he's changed now. I can't support him. Because for the first time of all the years I watched him, he made me so uncomfortable. And he didn't seem to care that he made people uncomfortable. It was just like, oh, well. And I understand that you don't want to find out. And I sincerely hope that there aren't any people in any of these groups that haven't spoken out that, do agree with what's going on with the police or are against Black Lives Matter. I do hope that that's not the case because of how much K-pop does benefit off of Black culture. And in my opinion, you should not be singing R&B and hip hop style music if you don't respect the people that created that stuff. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I really do feel like this is, it is important to remember that your favorite singers don't owe you. Your favorite singers, your favorite actors, your favorite, whatever, reality show people, they don't owe you receipts. They don't. And if you think that they owe you receipts, then you're just adding to the problem of people jumping on the bandwagon for clout. I would rather take solace in just saying they probably did something behind the scenes, unless I see otherwise, unless I hear otherwise, unless I hear like, oh no, they're just total jerks and they're totally racist. I would like to take solace in they support the cause, maybe quietly on their own. Maybe they're watching and they're just so devastated they can't say anything. Maybe their management won't let them say anything. Maybe they're not comfortable speaking out because they don't want to overshadow the voices of the people who are being affected by this. And I try to think on the positive about it and say, they're not racist and they don't hate Black people. They just don't have they don't have the voice to speak, because again, that's not their job. Their job is, they're not politicians. They're not, making laws. Their job is to entertain us. Their job is to take us away from the darkness that's going on in the world. If they're doing that. They're doing their job, in my opinion. They don't have to stand there and say Black Lives Matter and put their fist up. To me, they've done enough for me. As long as they're not standing on the other side and saying, nah, kill all the black people, then, and you have no proof that they did. Just because someone is silent, silence doesn't mean that you're on the side of the oppressor. Silence, that's what people get wrong. Silence doesn't mean that you're on the side of the oppressor. Ignorance and blindness does. Silence can mean anything. I stayed silent for a very long time. I didn't speak out. The reason why I didn't speak out was because I was in a position where I couldn't. And maybe those people are as well. Maybe they're doing something behind the scenes, but they cannot share it. You don't know. And if they can, maybe they don't want to. Again, they don't owe you that. They don't owe you an explanation, and they don't owe you Black Lives Matter. They don't owe you that. The only thing that they owe you is good music and fun times, as long as they're not racist. And if you want proof that they're not racist, then I don't know what to tell you. You know, I can't help you there. If it really does cut you to that point in your heart where you really say, well, they didn't speak out against the violence and they didn't speak out in support of Black Lives Matter, so maybe they are racist. If it really hurts you, then, you know, unstand if that's the case. But just remember that that's not what they owe you. They don't owe you, any information about their personal beliefs. So that's all I wanted to say about that, because I have been seeing that going around ever since they started dropping the names of all the K-pop stars that have come out in support. I've seen people like, well, this person didn't donate and that person didn't donate and this group didn't say anything and that group. It doesn't matter. That's not their job. That's not what they're here for. They're here to entertain. And I'm saying this as a black woman. You would think I'd be the first person that would be like, unstand all of them. Get rid of all of them. No, I understand that sometimes you have to be silent. And I also understand that you don't need to show people that you support. You don't need to stand up and be waving a flag and screaming in people's faces. That's a choice. That's a choice that people make. I know a lot of people that support Black Lives Matter, that support black people, that are on black people's side, that still will do it in a subtle and quiet way. So just bear that in mind when you start to think that maybe you should stop listening to a certain group because they didn't jump to the immediate defense of black people. Unless they came out and spoke out against black people, you have no proof that they don't support. Okay? Stay safe, stay sane, and I will see you guys when I make the Black Lives Matter video.